This video covers Activity Monitor and is part 2 from 3, although for time being I don't think I will have something covering part 3 apart some small additions. The video covers the creation of objects required to store the data from remote servers. There are 6 hard-coded queries which I used in 2024 and still using them here. 3 retrieves data using TSQL and the other 3 retrieve data using WMI object, which works as long as some ports will be opened. For this control, I haven't copied the code for modifying the schedule, although if you look to other videos, I am using the same code for track SQL server login permissions, and then we can decide and save back the schedule of data retrieval. I decided to not allow also the change of schedule because most of the applications on the market are hard-coding the schedules, and I believe that in order to keep some kind of performance, users shouldn't be allowed to change schedule to 1 second only to crash the application, or to test application limitations. Users can see the application limitations by looking into the code because, like I said in the past, this is what I am trying to monetize. Anyway, going back to the video, I decided to change the schedule for some of the queries using TSQL code and launch a new instance of the application which, since is loading the metadata at startup, will see the new schedules and act accordingly. Every action or refresh reinitializes the charts with the new data, which means whatever grouping by or pivoting by and values were used for any of the charts will be reset to 0 for each category. I don't remember by heart, but the columns which are available for selection are hard-coded in the application, and I don't know if I add them alphabetically or in the order in which I'm pulling the data. The reset might bother some of the users since they might have to repeat filtering operations more than once, but this is how it is now. The data retrieved in charts has a hard limit of 10,000 rows ordered by collection date time, while the querying of the data using the slider has a hard-coded limit of 1,000 rows, which might be too little if we query counter information for last 10 minutes for 100 servers. Because of this, the control might and should be enhanced with more advanced filtering than the collection date. We might try to use 5,000 rows to see more of the data collected. As a SQL Server DBA, I see this type of control being used when SQL team need to provide some reports of how SQL Server behaved during a specific interval. If we already have the SQL queries or PowerShell scripts in place, we can launch an instance of the application, change the instance names without pushing them in repository, and enable data retrieval for specified interval, after which we can add all charts and generate a final report in Excel. Of course, it can be used to chart data from specific tables in your database repository. I see people usually using Grafana for their charts if they only collect the data. Grafana is great. Other tools charting the data are great too. It's just a matter of being the maintainer and not only the user of the application. I know AI is charting data if you give it the input data, but I don't understand why to give it the data if nowadays there are plenty of free applications which can chart the data. The next post will most probably show some buttons for moving intervals back and forward, without the need of modifying the time. If we retrieve the last 5 minutes, then pressing a left button will go back in time 5 minutes, and so on. Some more filtering options might be added to monitoring data information by the use some combo boxes populated with distinct values for non-numeric columns of our tables.